Yo, 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 yo. What it do? It's your boy Justin J.Will, whatever you want to call me. Checking in one time for the True podcast. Hope everybody's doing well, doing great on this Monday afternoon, Monday evening, whenever you may be listening to this, whatever day you may be listening to this. I appreciate you for dropping in, checking in on your boy, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So I appreciate it. Decided to drop an episode today and not wait till Tuesday, just because I wanted to get this out here, and I'm off work, so I don't have to wait till tonight to record. I can record during the day, so I can go ahead and get some content out. So first of all, make a few church announcements. I'm gonna have my first giveaway. Okay, I'm gonna have the first Cheap True giveaway. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and I apologize. I know I've said this on episodes before, probably around the springtime, but I'm serious this time. It's my first giveaway. Football season is back in effect. Hey, I'm serious this time. I'm gonna do a giveaway, so stay tuned for that, in probably the next 2 weeks or so. So also still looking for a graphic designer. Now, I got some entries, and I'm probably about to make a decision soon. But if you guys know anybody who wants to put their name into the bucket, put their name in the hat, let them know that your boy Justin J.Will, whatever you want to call it, is looking for a new logo, because I'm tired of this logo. It's starting to get on my nerves now. Just looking at it, I don't like it. It was okay when me and my boy AC first started this thing, but now it's just really ugly, especially now that I'm really into this thing and I see what other people's logos look like. I'm like, goodness gracious, I need to get another. So yeah, I'm looking for another logo. So if you know anybody, hey, I got the social media handles in the description as always. Tell them to hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, Instagram. Also, I've been a little more active on Instagram. I'm going to become more active on Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow Cheap Truth on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Okay. I think that's it. So, today's episode of Cheap Truth, what are we talking about? What are we talking about on Cheap Truth, man? So, I went 2-2 on my college picks, so I broke even. I'll get into that. And Khalil Mack got traded to the Bears. So I'll give you guys my opinions on that. And Paxton Lynch got released. I don't know if I really have too much to say about that, but I may say something toward the end. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into these college football games. So let's start off with Alabama and Louisville. Now, I picked Louisville to cover. Now, the spread was like 24.5. Now, I thought that Louisville could stay within that range. I never thought that they were going to win. I never thought that they were going to win at all. But I figured that, hey, I mean, Louisville plays in Power 5, a conference, in a Power 5 conference, ACC or whatnot. So I think that they could stay within 24 points of Alabama. And they couldn't. And they could. Alabama just wiped the floor with these guys. I mean, they could have scored 100 points if they really wanted to. They could have scored 100 points if they really wanted to. So, I mean, Tua Tagovailoa really separated himself from Jalen Hurts, the trash can. Jalen Hurts was awful. And Nick Saban actually did what I thought that he may end up doing. I said this in the last episode. I said Nick Saban may play both quarterbacks. Maybe Jalen Hurts will get a few plays, Tua will get a few plays, and that's what happened. So they actually played both quarterbacks. Alabama did, and Tua Tagovailoa was just the better quarterback. I mean, you look at it, Jalen Hurts, whenever he came in there, they just punted the ball. Had a receiver open, and of course he overthrew him, and the pass was inaccurate. He had time to step up and make the throw, but he couldn't make it. Tua Tagovailoa, on the other hand, when he gets that opportunity, boom, Jerry Jeudy in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. But yeah, I was wrong about Louisville being able to stay within a reasonable range of Alabama. Alabama just kicked these guys all over the field. I mean, they just kicked their ass for real. But another interesting thing to come from this game, staying with staying on the topic of the quarterbacks, was this little piece from Nick Saban. So after the game, ESPN's Marie Taylor had a question for Nick Saban about his quarterbacks. Now, of course, we know that this has been asked, maybe not necessarily that question, but the topic of quarterbacks, Alabama quarterbacks, who's going to start, and the whole situation when Jalen Hurts coming out to the media and voicing his frustrations with the whole handling of the situation. Like, this has been a thing the entire offseason. So Marie Taylor had a question for Nick Saban, and this is how he responded.
All right, Coach, everyone had questions about who was going to start at quarterback when this game started. What answers did you have about your quarterbacks after watching both of them play tonight?
Well, I still like both guys. I think both guys are good players. I think both guys can help our team. All right, so why do you continually try to get me to say something that doesn't respect one of them? I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Woo, Nick Saban said quit asking. He ain't with all that. So, first of all, shout out to Marie Taylor, the beautiful Marie Taylor from ESPN, for handling that very, very, very well. You didn't hear it in that clip, but she said after he said what he said, she was just like, oh, okay, I hear you, Coach. And she just went ahead with the interview and went ahead with her questions. So, we know Nick Saban doesn't like the media. He makes that very apparent. He doesn't care. He just doesn't like the media for some reason. And we know that this story has been a story since the national championship, right? Ever since they benched Jalen Hurts in the second half and brought in Tua Tagovailoa, the question has always been, damn, who's going to start day one? Who's going to start week one against Louisville? So I don't think that it was a bad question or anything. She didn't try to forcefully ask him the question or put the question down his throat. She just asked him a damn question. And, I thought about it like this right here too. Maybe Nick Saban really likes Jalen Hurts, and that's why he did what he did, which is play both quarterbacks. He played Tua Tagovailoa majority of the snaps, but Jalen Hurts got in there for a few series too, which he proceeded to do absolutely nothing. No surprise there, considering he's a trash can, and trash cans don't play quarterback. But whatever. Maybe he feels like, how you see people in a relationship, or maybe you've been through this, but you may see people in a relationship, and if one party accuses the other party of cheating, the person that's getting accused of the cheating may become defensive. You get what I'm saying? Now, they can become defensive because either they really are not cheating. They're not doing anything. They're innocent, totally 100% innocent. And they can't believe that their partner would put that on them like that. Like, damn, why you gonna say I'm cheating? Like, really? Like, after all we've been, like, that's what you think? Or it could be because they really are cheating. So they get defensive. And they try to make the other person feel bad for asking. But really, they're doing dirt. They're cheating. They're cheating on their partner. So they get defensive. So Nick Saban knows that Jalen Hurts is trash. He knows that he's trash. We all can see that he's trash. Even Stephen Wonder can see that Jalen Hurts is straight trash. Especially comparing him to Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, you looked at that championship game last year against Georgia. Much to my chagrin. I mean, you look at that championship game, it was night and day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I use the bridge analogy. It's just like a bridge, right? You got a new bridge and you got the old bridge. When you go across the new bridge and you look at the old bridge from the new bridge, you're like, damn, how in the hell did we ever go across that piece of crap? True story. How did we ever go across that piece of crap? when going across the new bridge. So you look at Jalen Hurts like, damn, how did Alabama ever win anything with Jalen Hurts when you see Tua Tagovailoa come in? I mean, because he looks like he's going to be a first-round pick in the 2020 draft. No doubt about it. If he keeps going the way he's going, he looks like a straight playmaker, a baller with a damn good arm. Way better than Jalen Hurts will ever be, could ever dream to be. So maybe Nick Saban feels a little bad. Maybe he feels, I don't know, maybe he feels some remorse when he's asked that question, because he knows that, yeah, Jalen Hurts sucks. But then at the same time, he has to defend his guy, and he has to let them know, hey, I'm defending you guys. I want both of you. I love both of you. You're my players. And I mean, Jalen Hurts, he was the quarterback to 2 championships or whatnot, even though, I mean, regardless, he was still trash. But he got to the championship. Whatever. Can't take that away from him. But, yeah, I think Nick Saban's kind of, he got on the defensive because he knows what's going on. And he knows that Jalen Hurts sucks. He knows that he sucks. We all know that he sucks. And I don't got anything against the guy. I hope he does well. Hey, like I said, I'm unapologetically rooting for black quarterbacks. But, man, look here. I'm going to call it square, square, and a circle, circle. If you're bad, you're bad. If you suck, you suck. And he sucks. So I'm interested to see what Alabama's going to do this year, man. Real talk. I'm interested to see Tua Tagovailoa. Like, I want to see what happens when they go up against LSU. I want to see what happens when they go up against some better competition, because Louisville was not it. I mean, god damn, man, them dudes. I mean, like I said, Alabama literally could have scored 100 points on them if they wanted to. Literally could have scored 100 points if they wanted to. So, shout out to them, I guess. What else took place? Let's talk about LSU and Miami. So, LSU beat Miami 33-17. I'm not surprised at all by it. That was one of the games I got right. Like, I was very confident in that pick. I mean, if there was one game that I was just super duper confident in, it was that one. I wasn't worried about LSU being ranked in the 20s and Miami being ranked number 8. I was not worried about that at all, because I knew that LSU, their personnel was better, and you got all them pro players flying across the field on offense and defense. That matters for something. And as I mentioned in the previous podcast, Miami was on the losing streak. You know what I'm saying? They lost against Pitt. They lost against Clemson last year, going back to last year now. They lost against Pitt. They lost against Clemson. They lost against Wisconsin. So they ended the year off very bad. And I think to a certain degree they overachieved last year. This year, not so much. I don't think there's going to be any overachieving. Their window was last year. And now, if you guys have ever heard the term regression to the mean, which means that, yeah, you could get out on the court and I could get hot, get Ray Allen hot. Man, I'm making 2 threes, 3 threes, 4 threes, 5 threes, 6 threes. But then eventually I'll go back to making a 3 every 5 shots. If that's what I really am. If that's what I usually do. If I'm a 20% 3-point shooter, that's what I'm going to go back down to being. And so Miami hasn't been anything for the past, I don't know what, 15 years. And they're just going to go back down to what they've always been for the past 15 years, which is just not very good. Not very good at all. So I'm not a big fan of Malik Rozier. I said that in the previous podcast. I do not like him. I don't think that he's good. He can't bang with good competition. And you saw it against LSU. Now, his offensive line didn't do him any favors, which that goes back to my point. They start going up against really good, talented teams like that they can't hold. I mean, LSU consistently puts in pro players every year. Defensive linemen, offensive linemen, wide receivers, running backs, cornerbacks, safeties, all over the damn field. And I just knew that Miami was not going to be able to take that. Now, LSU actually looked pretty decent on offense. The running back was pretty good. I can't think of his name right now. Sorry. But he was pretty good. Scored 2 touchdowns, had a long touchdown run. Their quarterback, the Ohio State transfer, was pretty good. I like him. He looked pretty good. Now, granted, it was just one game. I understand. It's just one game. Okay? But Miami isn't necessarily lacking for talent on either side of the ball. It's not like they don't have talent, especially on defense. But LSU was just better. They overwhelmed them, like I figured they were going to do. So, LSU, they have a tough schedule in like the middle of September, I think. Like they go up against Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn, if I'm not mistaken. So, they got a tough road ahead. I don't know who they play next week. I'm pretty sure it's Louisiana Tech or somebody like that. But, yeah, I like the way LSU looked against Miami. I liked him, and I like the quarterback. I like him. He looks like he could be something. They were moving the ball on the ground. Playing defense, good defense, letting those athletes do what they do. Greedy Williams had a little scare, got injured, I think in the first half, but he came back onto the field. So I think everything, the arrow's pointing up for LSU. The arrow's pointing up for LSU. Thing is, I think we need to see if they can consistently string these games together. That's my only word. That they won't be able to string games together. And that they'll end up falling off and being inconsistent. And that's what's going to, keep them down or whatever. Now, as far as Miami, I think that Miami end up going like 8-4, something like that. They'll finish with a winning season. I think they got too much talent, period, to not have a winning record. But they'll be 8-4. They'll go to a bowl game. Hell, they may even win it. But all that championship, BCS champ, no, that's not gonna happen. It's not happening. It's not happening this year. They just don't got it. And if for no other reason than Malik Rozier, he's just not. He doesn't do it for me. He doesn't do it for me. So I think Miami end up going back to what they've been for the past 10 years, and they want all the championship aspirations died against Wisconsin. Like, that's it. No disrespect to them, no disrespect to the Canes fans. We know what you did back in the 80s, and you know what I'm saying, back when you had Andre Johnson and Willis McGahee and Frank Gore and all those guys, man. We know what you did, but nah, not this year. Let's see, who else? Auburn beat Washington, and I was around that game. I didn't really have any real reason, no like technical reason, no technical analysis, no football, super analytical football analysis as to why Auburn was going to beat Washington. But I just figured it was going to be really hard for Washington to fly down, to Auburn or to Atlanta. I think the game was in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, which is basically a home game for Auburn because Auburn is in Alabama, and Alabama's right next to Georgia. So, I mean, you would think that they would get more fans. So it was basically a home game for them. And I just thought that it would be very hard for Washington. Even though Washington's a pretty talented team. Don't get me wrong. Very talented Pac-12 team. But I just knew that that was going to be hard. Having to fly cross country basically and go down to Auburn and beat Auburn. So Auburn beat them 21-16. So I was right on that. Now, Notre Dame beat Michigan 24-17. Now, I was wrong on this because I thought Michigan would beat Notre Dame. Now I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of this game. I watched bits and pieces of it, and I read some recaps. But I expected Jim Harbaugh to get the job done. I expect him to get the job done. Like, dude, you got Shea Patterson. Now, I'm not a big Shea Patterson fan. I've been saying that for a minute. I don't understand how in the hell he's a number one, that he has a first round grade in a lot of these mock drafts. I don't understand it. And he didn't do himself any favors against Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? He did not do himself any favors against Notre Dame. So, you know, as far as Jim Harbaugh, I mean, this makes him 1-6 against rival schools now. So that's Ohio State, Michigan State, and Notre Dame. And for as much money as he's getting paid, that ain't gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it, man. I mean, I don't care how big of a defender you are, Jim Harbaugh, and we know that he's a damn good coach. I mean, we saw what he did at Stanford. We saw what he did with San Francisco. Michigan, I mean, he's pretty much a bad spot away against Ohio State. And then that game against Michigan State with a punter for some reason, which, man, it's still very hard to watch that clip. I mean, you got the game won. All you got to do is punt the ball. And the guy mishandles the snap. And Michigan State proceeds to run it back for a touchdown at the end of the game. So he's a player or two away from the playoffs, man. I understand that. But it's a bottom line society at the end of the day. Like, what have you done for me lately? It's all about the bottom line, man. Yeah, Matt Stafford has all these damn yards. We understand that. And yes, I know, I just got to take a shot at Matt Stafford. Yeah, you got the 5,000 yard season. Yeah, you threw 40 touchdowns, 16 interceptions for 1 year. Yeah, you got a good arm. But you don't have any playoff wins. And for as much success as Jim Harbaugh has had, you know, I mean, as a coach, he hasn't won a championship. I think he actually got a Super Bowl as a player, if I'm not mistaken. But as a coach, he ain't won no championships. In college or pro. Got close. But it's not like this is Bill Belichick or Nick Saban or anything like that. Now, Jim Harbaugh is a very, 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 very good coach in his own, you know, respects or whatnot. And I thought that this would be the year. And, I mean, it's just one game. But I felt like, damn, you could make a really big statement in college football. You could make a statement like, yeah, we here. Michigan here. Notre Dame, get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like get the hell up out of here. We finna show y'all that this is our year. He could make a statement. The team could make a statement. And they didn't. They did not at all. So I don't know what the future holds for Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. I don't know what they're going to end up doing this year. Maybe they just get it together and reel off. Who knows? Maybe they run the table for the rest of the season. I doubt that. You know, you look at that offense, man. The offense wasn't that good. We thought that Shea Patterson would change that. Now, I don't think Shea Patterson's a good pro prospect, but I think he could be a good college quarterback. I mean, you read some of the reviews on him, and even if you look at him play, if you saw him play at Ole Miss, he's pretty much Johnny Manziel without the off the field issues. That's pretty much what he is, and that's what he plays like: getting out the pocket, running, throwing on the run, making plays. That's what he does off the script. That's what Shea Patterson does. So Jim Harbaugh got to pick it up, man. You got to pick it up. The team has to pick it up. So Michigan ended up losing that game. And I think that rounds out my college football picks. So, like I said, I went 2 for 2. Hey, I'll take it. Hey, I'll take 500 first week. Hopefully I'll do better next week. Now let's jump into the last topic of the day. Talk about Khalil Mack, former linebacker for the Oakland Raiders. Got traded to Chicago over the weekend, man. So Chicago, let's see, I'm looking at the trade right here. So the Bears acquired Khalil Mack, a 2020 second round pick, a conditional 2020 fifth round pick from the Raiders for a 2019 first round pick, 2020 first round pick, 2020 third round pick, and a 2019 sixth round pick. So Bears get Khalil Mack, and the Raiders get a bunch of draft picks. They get 2 first-round draft picks, one in next year's draft and one in the year after that. So they get 2 first-round draft picks. And they get a 3rd round and a 6th round in both drafts, in the 2019 draft and the 2020 draft. So, big deal here. Khalil Mack. We know Khalil Mack to be just a terror off the edge rusher. He's another one of those dominant players who dominates his position. And the Bears ended up acquiring him. Now, I'm very excited to see what the Bears are going to do because I'm a very big fan of Vic Fangio, their defensive coordinator. And for you guys who don't know who Vic Fangio is, he was actually the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers when San Francisco was running things with Cap, and you had Crabtree, and still had Frank Gore running the rock, and Patrick Willis, and Navarro Bowman, and Justice Smith, and Aldon Smith before he went crazy. All those guys that just ridiculous defense, ridiculous talent on defense. I mean, he was the defensive coordinator, so he was making all that work. And he's a very good defensive coordinator, period. He knows what the hell he's doing on defense. So giving him a guy like Khalil Mack, they already got some pretty good personnel on defense already. Leonard Floyd, I like him. Akeem Hicks, pretty good. They drafted Roquan Smith out of Georgia. He's a rookie, but I think he'll come in and be a tackling machine. Kyle Fuller had a decent year last year, so they have some talent on defense, and Mitch Trubisky is still young. So of course we see the trend that's going on in the NFL, right? Hey, you got a young quarterback while he's in that rookie year, while he's in the rookie contract, while you're paying him pennies basically compared to what all the other top quarterbacks are getting paid. You put as many pieces around him as you can and try to go for it. It's what the Eagles did with Carson Wentz. That's what the Rams are trying to do with Jared Goff. You see what they did. They just re-signed Aaron Donald to a new contract, which was well-deserved and about time, I must say. You see they got Brandon Cooks and Dominican Sue, so they're trying to go for it. Now, I don't believe Chicago's trying to do anything like that, but I'm just saying they decided to say, okay, you know what? We can shell out this money for a guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer if he keeps up the good work, if he keeps doing what he's doing. He's an all-pro, perennial Pro Bowler, and he's going to make an impact on defense. Now, as far as the Raiders is concerned, let's see. So Khalil Mack, he actually ended up getting a 6-year, $141 million extension with the Bears, $90 million guaranteed. So, they traded him and signed him to a long-term deal right out the gate. Now, as far as the Raiders, I know a lot of people are getting on John Gruden for this, and they're like, damn, how could you not tie him up? And, you're looking at the defense. Who do they have on defense? The Bruce Irvin. I really don't know who in the hell they had got on defense, to be honest. I really can't think of anybody. I guess it's Sean Smith still on defense. Garrett Conley, the guy from Ohio State. Their defensive personnel is not the best. So I think a lot of Oakland Raiders fans are like, come on, are you really going to give away our best defensive player when we're already short of very good defensive players? But I kind of get it, man. Like, Khalil Mack wanted a lot of money. And I don't blame him because he sees what everybody else is getting paid. He saw that Dominican Sue get that big contract from Miami a few years back. Aaron Donald just got paid. It's much deserved. Fletcher Cox last year. So he wants to get paid like those guys. And I can't blame him. I'm never going to be against a young black guy or any one of these football players, period, for wanting to get their money. After all they go through and all the pain and all the surgeries and all the injuries and just smashing into each other at 100 miles an hour, I'm never going to be against them getting their money. But I look at it from a business standpoint, and it's very dangerous giving non-quarterbacks quarterback money. You look at what he got. I mean, $90 million guaranteed, $141 million extension, 6-year deal. I mean, that's like quarterback money. And it's very dangerous to give somebody like that quarterback money. Because we've seen in the past that it just doesn't end up working out. I mean, one of the biggest examples of that was Albert Hainsworth for Washington. The Washington Redskins. And they signed him over from the Titans. Gave him that big contract. You know what I'm saying? $100 million if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what the guarantees were, but it was a big ass contract. And what did that didn't get him anywhere. And Dominican Sue for Miami, who I just bought up. What did that give Miami? They gave him all that money. I guarantee you, if they had a chance to not give him that money, they would not give him that money. They would instead invest their resources into something else. Whether it be, I mean, you could have gotten, I mean, who knows? You could have gotten, some guys on the cheap that could have produced for you as well. Who knows? Maybe one of them turns out to be a star. But when you start investing that type of money into one player on defense, I mean, you're playing with fire. So I can kind of see the Raiders not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's a pretty smart play if you ask me. Instead of tying up the defense, I mean, because the defense hasn't been that good with them. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, nobody was picking Oakland to go to the Super Bowl next year because they got Khalil Mack. And there's no disrespect to Khalil Mack. I'm not saying he's not a great player. He is. But nobody's picking them to go to the Super Bowl next year because Khalil Mack is on the squad. So I get it from a business standpoint. Like, hey, you know what? Before we shell out all this money, we can go invest this money a little bit. We can, you know what I'm saying, flip it. We can flip them. Hey, Chicago, here you go. Give us 2 first-rounders, 2019-2020 draft, and we'll take it from there. So I think it was a good move for the Raiders, to be honest, because now they don't have to worry about having all that money tied up in anybody but the quarterback. Like, when you look at it, it's best to have all your money tied up. I would rather have my money tied up into my franchise quarterback than my defensive end or my defensive tackle or my outside linebacker. I would rather have my money tied up. I take my chances. I'll take my chances having my money tied up in Andrew Luck. I'll take my chances having my money tied up into Aaron Rodgers. I'll take my chances. Because we know how important quarterbacks are. That's not to say that defensive ends and that outside linebackers aren't important either. Edge rushers aren't important either. You need those guys. But we know who the cream of the crop. We know that quarterbacks make the world go round. You got a pretty good quarterback, you're probably going to do pretty damn good. You're going to be well off. For the most part. So I think it was a good play by Oakland, man. I think it was a good play. I'm not a big John Gruden fan. I don't like how he got all that damn money up front for as long as he did, for as many years as he did. But, hey, I mean, get what you can get, I guess. It's not his fault that they gave him all that money. But I think that this was a pretty good move. I know I'm probably in the minority on this, but I think it was a pretty decent move. Happy for Khalil Mack to get his money, get paid. That's good for him. I think that he'll be a damn good player in Chicago, much to the chagrin of Lions fans, including myself. I mean, he's Vic Fangio. I mean, Chicago is going to be pretty good next year. They're going to be pretty good. They're going to be way better than they were last year for sure. I really believe it. I think Mr. Trubisky takes a step. You know, they got him Allen Robinson. They still have that run game with Jordan Howard. Still have a pretty good offensive line. So we'll see what happens with them, man. But I think it was a win for the Oakland Raiders. It was a win-win on both ends, if you ask me. But I really like what the Oakland Raiders did because they were able to, get rid of Khalil Mack. And at the same time, they got something good in return. They got 2 first-round picks. Now, at the end of the day, they're going to have to make sure that they use those first-round picks correctly. You know what I'm saying? See the Cleveland Browns making all those incorrect picks, making all those bad first round picks or whatnot. But I mean, if you could turn those guys into good picks, then it was worth it. So it's just going to be up to them. But I like it for both teams, but I really like for Oakland. So that's it for me. So anyway, that's it for the Cheat Truth for the day. I'm not talking about Paxton Lynch. Jalen Hurts was enough trash can talk for the day. I don't want to talk about Paxton Lynch, so nothing to say there, but he got released. I don't know what he's going to do. Somebody may pick him up and think that they can resurrect his career or something like that, some crap like that. You guys know how NFL coaches are. But that's it for me. So I don't know how I want to do it this week. I'm still trying to decide. I may put an episode out on Thursday, and that may end up being Friday's show, if that makes any sense. Basically meaning I don't expect anything on Friday. I may put something out on Thursday, but I haven't made my decision yet. I know this week is gonna be kind of hectic from Wednesday on. So, and plus we got the Thursday night game, NFL season starting with Atlanta and Philadelphia. So I don't know how I'm gonna play it, man. But just follow me on Twitter and all that. Follow the links in the description, the social media handles in the description. And I will talk to you guys later on this week. Peace.